Alrighty, Jeffrey. Hello.
Hello.
So, hey, Jeff Mayo. I'm Darby Hallman.
Hi, Darby
both
Hallman.
from-
I am Jeff Mayo.
We're both from Nerds at Large, and we're about to watch the Jedi Fallen Order reveal spectacular.
Wow.
Yeah, Star Wars Show Live, I guess. That's what it's being called. Presented by Geico, and that's important, Jeff.
That's very important.
That's very important.
I hope the Geico lizard is in this game.
Is he going to be
Geico,
in this
yeah.
game? That is what we're just going to discuss for the next
Does,
2
does
minutes.
Disney own Geico?
Probably. I mean, would you be that surprised if they
Yeah,
to learn that they did?
Yeah.
There could be way more surprising things. Yeah, so we don't really know. We know this game is going to be apparently a single player game.
No
micro-
microtransactions.
No microtransactions.
No Michaels.
No Michaels. If your name is Michael, get out of here. This is not a game for you. You can't buy it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think there's me and a lot of other people, we have a little more hope. Like, this might finally be a Star Wars game that hits just because Respawn
Yeah.
is a very talented director. Seems like there's a lot of kind of very talented people on this.
Yep.
And both EA and the Star Wars brand kind of need a win. I mean, they have Apex Legends, which is a huge win, but
Yeah.
Star Wars hasn't had a win in the video game space in a minute, you know.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So, Jeff, where is your Star Wars legacy? in your
I'm the
own life?
biggest fan ever. I'm so big, I don't want it ever to end, so I haven't watched a single movie in full.
If you never start watching it, it never has to end.
Exactly.
What is the sound coming through?
I think it's coming from the Star Wars thing.
Okay. I didn't know there was music. Yeah, I don't have that stream on my headphones, so I was just making sure. Okay. Are we starting?
Turn the volume up a little bit.
Star Wars Celebration Chicago, how you doing? We got one more better than that. Come on, Celebration, how you doing?
Not better.
Are you excited for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? I mean, come on. Well, we don't know about this game yet, but that all changes right here at Celebration.
Changes right here, right now.
We've got the
Scorpion comes out and kills Rey. Do I look cool, Jeff?
very talented
Of course.
developers of Jedi Fallen Order. We also have some special guests. We'll get there as well this hour.
No guess, no.
They're all here to spill.
Oh, it's gonna be a cringy presentation, Jeff. It's EA. I'm just hoping the game looks good.
I can safely say that everyone in this room is most excited about this year. A Star Wars Jedi game, a Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Oh, I just can't wait to find out more about this game. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Are you ready, Jeff?
Bring out the team from Respawn Entertainment out here to the stage.
We're going to name every single one of them and tell you their life story.
How are you?
Oh no, chairs and couches.
Welcome to Star Wars Celebration.
That's
So
never a good
reveals
sign.
worst enemy.
Many of you watching at home as well. I know you're excited. Why don't we go ahead and start with
I mean, we have to keep in mind it's still gonna be an EA presentation. I'm just gonna suffer through. That's why I'm not even worried about missing a lot of this. I just want to see the game.
I'm Stig Asmussen. I'm game director on Jedi Fallen Order, and I just want to say I'm so proud to be up here on the stage for my whole team at Respawn. I'm Aaron Contreras. I'm the narrative lead at the Respawn team on Jedi.
We need our Kevin, Jeff, so that someone off screen is having to do all this.
And I am Steve Blank, director of franchise content and strategy.
We also need a Kevin just to make fun of.
That too.
And the
You can make fun of me while I'm doing all this, I
It's
suppose.
the
but-
longest title of the day. And the Lucasfilm representative will welcome everybody. Vince, why don't we go ahead and start with you? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your history, about Respawn Entertainment, and how it feels to be bringing Star Wars to your already impressive game resume?
So a small question we'll start with there.
Okay.
I've had the honor of working on creating some of the biggest IPs in gaming, right? Like with Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Titanfall, Apex Legends. Maybe played.
Sorry, Jeff. I'm still trying to get this, but it's not like you're missing much visually.
So to be able
And you
to
can still
add
see it.
Star Wars, one of the biggest IPs in the world across any medium, is just, you know, a childhood fantasy for me, right? Like I grew up, Star Wars is part of my DNA. It, you know, helped form who I am. So, you know, when Stig and I started working together, it was one of the things we talked about, like, we want to do this game, and to finally realize
First
it.
thing we talked about.
Yeah. So
Well,
it's wonderful. So, and a story game. This is a Jedi fantasy story.
Story.
What? No, seriously, what?
I think we're known for being.
I was
you know,
like, this is the
multiplayer shooter
Star
guys.
Wars story
Not
game or
just
something.
who we are. This is a
The
story
buzzword of the
game,
day,
no
story.
multiplayer, no
Yeah.
microtransactions. It's about being
They're
a
already
Jedi.
like doing that. Which is what they're gonna say over and over again. Is like just say all the buzzwords you want them
So,
to hear.
That's
Story,
why,
no
you know, you bring
microtransactions.
experts like Stig on, who, you know, again, Stig, I've known for a long time. I tried to get him.
I
to
like
work
their
with me.
heroes.
He
Well,
played World War III, one of my
okay, well,
favorite
to be
games
fair to
of all
Respawn,
time.
the other ones haven't really
He
been
finally
involved with
said
the
yes,
massive
and I was like,
microtransaction
yeah, let's
stuff the
go.
other games. So
Yeah.
they want to say that stuff
You
they
know,
can.
to
EA
switch gears
can't.
here a little bit, you know, one of the reasons I'm
Right.
hosting this panel is that I actually got to work with Stig at my time during PlayStation. I can tell you, you know, with very direct firsthand experience, what
Oh, come on.
Botched it.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. I will end you.
Oh, it's not. It's just in general.
Okay, well that's at least that's comforting that it's at least not us.
At least nothing crazy. Imagine that happened like as the first trailer is playing.
And here's the game. You know, let's just watch Overwatch with each other. Jeff. So are they not live anymore? Most recent video.
Says they're live.
Yeah, it does say.
It's up on Star Wars YouTube.
Okay.
We're sorry, everyone. Yeah, that.
Here,
Here we go.
and of course,
This is fine considering YouTube usually works better for this stuff
To
anyway.
say we're a mashup crew is an understatement, but everybody has a really high pedigree, and you know,
All right. Yep. Sorry about that,
when I
everybody.
come into work every day and I feel the vibe and I feel the energy in the studio, and I actually get my hands.
And no
on the
offense to
floor
these people, at least what we missed was them talking about themselves.
I mean, all of this is kind of, me and you could just talk over this, honestly.
We're on the
It's
right
probably
track, and
not
I
much
can
of this
tell you
probably
I'm
really matters.
Super confident that we're onto something.
That's great. And you mentioned, of course, that it is a story-driven game. I want to take it over to Steve
Story.
from Story Group at Lucasfilm.
Hear that,
Tell
Darby?
us about the
Story.
process of breaking
gonna have
a
a story?
like this for a story game.
Sure. I mean, the process in general of crafting any narrative, regardless of Star Wars or not, is a labor of love. It takes time.
I'm gonna be so mad if the whole thing is them talking about the game.
That's like that's been my worst fear the whole time.
It's a possibility.
Something together when it comes to this specific story, and it's a labor of love, like I said. And
Yeah,
we
talk about the
can't
game,
wait for
but
people to
so
learn
far,
more about what this is,
fear is like,
and,
is this stuff? And
you
it's
know,
just the most
everybody
vague thing.
pitches in here,
Story,
we all
no
kinda get together
microtransactions.
and get to this
Okay,
point of
that's a
making
that's
We
a
got art?
baseline.
and it all starts, you know, when Stig
Oh no,
and
concept
team
art,
first
Jeff. Are
came to
they?
our offices in San Francisco. They pitched us right away on wanting
Hopefully
to
we're
tell
just
a
warming
Jedi
up.
story. They wanted to put a lightsaber in the player's hand, give them
I think the thing's supposed to be an hour, so
opportunity, and
hopefully.
we were
Yeah.
immediately sold on
Probably gonna be
that.
one of those things that we're
that
like, this
premise.
totally
Make
did
it
not
sound
need
so
to be an
easy.
hour.
Always easy, but no, you know, it's that premise, that simple idea is
Only
is the
Smash
place to
really
start with
deserves
that
an hour,
process,
if we're
that
being
finding
honest.
The specific story and the individual narrative for this game, that takes a lot longer, and that takes a lot more collaboration, a lot more rounds of iteration.
Yeah, it's been a challenging collaboration. Iteration is so important in game development. You want to execute on ideas rapidly, and then
I'm sure I know the answer
play the
considering
game
it's
to figure out
Respawn,
what
but
works
I'm
and what
curious to
doesn't.
see with the whole
The
single player
process of
thing.
working on
and story stuff is gonna be closer to like Uncharted or like The Witcher. You know what I'm saying?
Or,
Yeah,
create a cultural
like
design by
more linear or
Yeah,
open
we
world
had
versus.
to use different
Yeah,
approach
what about just side
than,
crap?
Yeah.
creating existing things in the Star Wars universe.
I mean, do we even?
And
I mean, I
new
guess we know it's
concepts. We are
something involving
introducing a lot
Jedi,
of
so
new
I'm guessing
planets and new
mostly
characters.
gonna be like melee
So
lightsaber
nailing
combat.
down existing
but
use some
locations,
Force
for
stuff.
example,
Yeah.
was something
Be a
really
wizard.
important
Just-
for both teams.
It's not gonna be.
So we did that
a
by
shooter.
going back and forth on
Like a
style
third-person
guides or
shooter type
concept
thing.
art, and even to today.
should get a little
we
robot
do
companion.
level playthroughs together over and over. Just
It's
to
no
nail
BB-8,
this.
but
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
but-
it's, as we were kind of all
I mean, I would
alluding
kind of
to,
rather
getting
them make their own
everybody
little
aligned and
robot
getting
guy.
everyone sort of centered and focused on executing a specific story. It's a lot of hard work. But
Voiced by
everybody
Danny
is driving
DeVito.
towards the same goal, which is making a
course,
badass,
Jeff, of
kick-ass
course.
Jedi Star Wars game for people to love.
It sounds really good when you say it out loud.
Well, Adam 2 did whatever did
That's the hope.
K28 whatever
Yeah, we come a
in
long
Rogue
way.
One,
Well,
and he was pretty funny.
So,
Probably
let's
one of
get
the best
into it. I mean,
Star
it's
Wars
killing the
characters.
anticipation's killing me over here. So, I mean, here's what we know about the game so far. We know that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order takes place after Order 66, right? Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the
Jeff, have you
Sith.
noticed my Sony
And
pony
you're
outfit?
a Padawan who survives those
I'm really-
events, and that's really all that we know. What
I'm
else can
Sony
you tell
pony
us about
today.
the story or the gameplay? Anything today?
It's an Xbox exclusive.
Well, high level.
I mean, I don't think they've said consoles, so.
Melee game. So you
Switch
play
exclusive.
as a Jedi on the run, in training, with a lightsaber and force powers. Now we know the Star Wars audience is huge. We want to be able to please all Star Wars gamers, so we made sure that the combat is something that's easy to pick up, but also if you put the time in, you can master it. It has a lot of depth. So for us, it's important that we strike that right balance. This is Star Wars, but what I will say is combat is key for us. Internally, we call the combat in the game thoughtful combat, and what that means is you really have to
Thoughtful, Darby.
size up your enemies, identify and
No dumb
exploit their
combat
weaknesses
here.
with all the powers that you have. But you know, I could keep on talking about it, but we actually have a trailer today that we can show.
That will show you in 30 minutes.
Let's see what time
I
is it.
told you they'd like that.
No,
Oh,
we're
you're
like
not
45
waiting till
minutes.
the end of your panel to show a trailer. Wow, that's already. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. I want to see a trailer.
Wait a minute, can I qualify?
Yeah, please set it up for us.
First of all, a huge shout out to everybody
Shout
at
out.
Respawn
Shout out.
and EAD for all the hard work that was put into this. We're super proud to be showing this to the world. One thing that's important that everybody knows is this is Celebration, and I think people want to know a lot about the story. So we decided to focus on a story-based trailer. So this is not raw gameplay, but it is all gameplay assets that you will find in the game. And
I hope
it
they
is
do
all
show gameplay
rendered
after this
in
trailer.
Engine.
This is sounding like
Last
this is
but
the
not
only trailer,
least,
to be honest, Joe.
We will be
Yeah, I feel like if
introducing
they
No,
were-
I'm getting the
Hero
vibe
to
too.
the galaxy, and he will be introduced in this trailer, and his name is Cal.
You want to
Kal-El?
see it?
If they were gonna turn around and show gameplay, I don't think they
Here's
would
the
be
world premiere
doing
of
this
Star
whole
Wars
like, hey, this
Jedi
is story,
Fallen
not
Order. Let's take a
gameplay,
look.
You know. So I'm not expecting gameplay now.
Wasn't always like this. But now, there are 3 rules to survive. Don't stand out. Accept the past. Trust no one. The galaxy's changed. Whatever you do, don't reach within. Don't stand out.
Well, normal, it's very
Accept the
respawning.
past.
Exit Execute Order 66.
Trust no one. Trust only in the Force.
Become a Jedi.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order!
It's definitely cool, if not a bit just kind of generic. I mean, it just seems like a normal first trailer, but I am way more interested in the gameplay just because you know, like that was just a story trailer. That was like the most story trailer
Yeah.
you could ever see. There's nothing necessarily spectacular about it, and it also looks cool. It also looks like a game I want to play, but I want to play if the gameplay is good. So if they don't show me gameplay, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
I feel like they didn't show that date, so.
Yeah.
So let's just dive right in. Help us out with the story here. Tell us about the story, Aaron. Why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I am so ready to talk about the story. So as many of you here today probably know, for 1,000 generations, the Jedi were guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic.
I'm sorry for anyone who did a drinking game where they like take a shot every time they say story. R.I.P.
They're passed out by now. I mean, and I feel like obviously I think you said before this that you want this game to, you want to come out of this wanting to actually play this game. I feel like they have to show gameplay to get you there.
Yeah.
It's not like you're invested in the Star Wars universe.
Wow, that sounds great. Tell us more about Cal. Now, what's it been like to?
As we talked about
develop this brand new
before,
character, this
when
hero
they
Credit for creating
said they weren't doing a press conference, you know, we thought, okay, made us feel good about this presentation. Because like, if they're not showing it at E3 like in a conference or something, maybe this is where they'll actually show good bit of stuff. Obviously show some stuff at E3, but
yeah, it worries me that the guy was there saying like, we're focusing on story, so it's not gameplay. You know, I don't know. It just seems like it would be a weird thing to say if you're gonna turn around and show gameplay, but maybe I'm wrong.
Cal's living in hiding. It's on a planet called Braca, which is in the
I hope I'm wrong.
He's part of the Scrapper.
Also, they should have taken away the slower thirds when the trailer started.
Decommissioned capital ships.
Probably.
It's really hard, dangerous work. The dark times have shaped Cal. He keeps his head down, holding himself back from getting involved in the world around him. He can't trust anyone with the secrets he carries for fear that it will endanger them. But eventually, Cal does get involved, and it puts Ignition on his trail. He'll have to face
But based on what we've seen, you know, as I said earlier, this is more of Uncharted, which I'm getting more of an Uncharted-y kind of vibe as far as linearity.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to tell, but yeah, I mean,
I feel like they would have said like,
that would have been
it's more
open world. Open world would have been one of their buzzwords.
Yeah,
along with story.
I want to play this game right now. That was amazing. And I have to say, you know, looking at that trailer,
Sure, this just seems a lot more like look at all these set pieces.
I ran into someone
like,
backstage.
It's more like you're going through this journey.
Looks and sounds
not,
a lot
you know, you're
like
deciding what
Cal.
to do.
And might know a thing or two about this character as well, because I'm pretty sure it's the actor that plays Cal. You want to meet him?
Troy Baker.
All right. Well, you may know
Troy
him
Baker and Nolan North
from Gotham.
Fused into.
You may know him from Shameless.
Yeah.
Oh.
But soon you'll know him as Jedi Cal Kestis.
It's the guy who plays the Joker.
Please welcome Cameron Monaghan to the stage. Cameron.
Like he looked kind of. Yep.
I recognize him.
Where are your scars?
I don't know if I've seen him in anything. Just recognize him.
Hey, what's going on, Steve? Hi, Chicago. This is amazing. This is straight up one of my favorite cities in the world. This place has a lot of personal significance for me, so I can't believe I get to show the trailer here of all places. This is amazing. Give it up for Chicago.
Oh, we know where they're at.
Just the city
Chicago.
itself. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, give it up for yourself.
Chicago, Star Wars, and Respawn. I think we're all on cloud 9 here. This is great.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be the next Jedi?
oh, it's no big deal. It's only every kid's freaking dream ever to be a Jedi. I mean, it's incredible. If I told my 10-year-old self who had the VHS box set of the original trilogy, and he watched like certain scenes over and over to the point that they were like fuzzy and worn out, the Darth Vader Return of the Jedi scenes, of course. If I told that kid that he was gonna get to swing a lightsaber one day, I think that his brain just would have exploded and leaked out of his ears. It's still kind of leaking out of my ears a little bit right now, I'll be honest. It's really surreal. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Well, Stig, what was it about Cameron that drew you to his performance or his audition for the role of Cal?
Actually, that would be Aaron. We were doing our first few rounds of casting, and
Okay, I see it now.
we ended
Hard
up
to tell because it was dark and he had
missing
a hood
one
on
the
a lot of the
casting
time.
audition.
Yeah, it definitely looks like him.
And it turns out that was the one that Cam was in. And I was instructed by our casting director to go up on the network because we had recorded all the sessions and catch up. And we had two folders on the network. One was review first, and one was other. Somehow Cam ended up in the other folder.
What?
Sorry. But,
Somehow.
And I looked at the review first. There was nothing there that was striking a chord, and we decided to continue the search. But Aaron's super thorough, and he combed through the other folder and brought Cam to my attention. I'm like, this is the guy that we've been talking about. This is the guy that we've been writing about for the last several years, really. And he brings this quality we always talked about.
Kind of crazy for this guy. They're not the most high profile like roles or type for those roles. There's a kid who's playing a Jedi in a Star Wars video game, AAA Star Wars video game. He played a Joker, live action Joker.
Big deals. It's probably two like dreams come true.
Thank you.
That's great. No, I mean, Cam, as Stig was saying, just embodies.
Is he
the
good
role
as the Joker?
envisioned
Oh yeah, and it was great. It was
Jedi who has this
kind of light
quiet
spoilers for
optimism
Gotham,
that
but
exists through the dark
the
times and taking
the
down the
Joker
Mandalorian
through a bunch of mini
Emperor,
phases. So
and
he's like
power to him, and just watching him in the Peacock
that kind of
session
reference a bunch of
step
different
into
eras of
and
Joker. So he
recreate,
plays,
bring to life the character of
like Mark
Joker.
Hamill and
Incredible.
all the other ones play like a certain type of
Cameron,
Joker.
what is
He
it
plays
about
multiple
Cal
and he does them all
Kestis
well.
that drew you to that part.
Interesting.
But tell us a little bit about that character.
Well, he immediately jumped off the page. He felt really distinct with what you guys had already built and created, but he was he has this sort of grit to him.
I hope we
He's
get that more.
street smart and wary.
trailer.
And, he's been through a lot, but at the same time, there's this sort
We
of
are 20
optimism to
minutes
him. He's
in.
ultimately a very good-hearted person, even though he's experienced much of tragedy. And
Maybe one of
that
those things
was
they
something
said
that
an hour,
really
but it'll end up being like
spoke to me.
40,
The story
45 minutes.
felt very human and very relatable,
Maybe.
and it was
I mean,
something that I wanted to relate to.
I feel like a lot of EA presentations
I'm curious
go
about the
long,
process
not
of
short, or at
developing
least they
this
feel
character. To
long.
go
Like,
back even
Yeah.
further,
I could see
assuming,
them
what was the
bumbling around
process
for an
like
hour and it just not
developing
feeling like
Cal?
we got
Was
an
it a
hour
long
worth of
process,
information.
Iteration?
Yeah, it was
Challenging,
a really
fun?
long process. We spent a lot of time and effort into creating Cal and bringing him to life. Just within the concept phase, we probably spent about a year. And we knew who Cal was from a story perspective, but we really wanted to emphasize that in his visual design and outfit and every little detail of him. So I want to give a shout out to some of our teammates, art team back at Respawn, Jordan Lamarwan, Chris Sutton, Hanno Hagedorn, and Lars Martinson. These guys were the core members that brought Cal to life. They spent hundreds of iterations from concept phase all the way to the final model, which you guys just saw in the final trailer.
Cool. So this is your first video game, is that right?
Yep.
Now you walk into a video game and it's not just voiceover, you're also doing, of course, likeness capture, motion capture. Oh, here, got some footage of you actually, some behind the scenes footage. Was it everything that you expected? Was it more?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I kind of came in with the perception of motion capture, which I think
I just
a lot
wish
of
that we
people
all
do
had
when
this
you tell them
equipment
about
for a
voice
day
capture.
so we could just make a bunch
Oh,
of
you're just
dumb
gonna
things.
do
Yeah.
voiceover and then show
Like
up
poorly
and walk
animated,
around with
but-
in the suit with some balls on it or whatever, and that's yeah. And then it turns out it's actually much more in depth, and you're able to really pick up
very subtle changes in emotion and in movement and body, and create a performance that's really.
That worked out for him. This last season of Gotham was shorter, as far as time-wise.
Yeah, a lot of Jedi work to do.
Explore and only really be limited by imagination when you're in a digital space meant that we were kind of these kids.
Probably works out better for me, so that way he had time to do Gotham.
We got to do something that I think that we're all really proud of.
I see too, and I watched this action footage here of you wielding a lightsaber. That's so cool. But it reminds me, Vince, of something you
interesting,
said.
kid.
Just the sort of
Seems like
fluidity
Respawn's
of your motion
good at
here reminds me of your
shooters.
gameplay comment.
I don't expect
about
this
the
to be a
importance of
shooter, so I
feel
wonder how.
in Respawn
Yeah.
games.
You know, it's not going to be
That's-
something you
that's
can
how-
win for
that's what
one.
we're
Look at
doing.
what they
Playing.
did
Can you
before,
just
and then
talk
look
a
at
little
those
bit about that?
to inform those.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the pillars.
Well,
But I mean,
but-
Gorilla
It's,
only did shooters before, and then they did
I
Horizon. So it's like,
yeah. I think the way to look at it is like, hey, Respawn's good at gameplay, good feeling gameplay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're.
Yeah, so
One
that's
of it.
what I'm hoping.
So it was just a natural fit to bring that feel.
This guy
from
looks
the
like
first person
someone,
into
and
the
I don't
third
know
person
who.
now, where it's even
It's not
more
just me.
important because that thought
Yeah, like I
combat, that
swear he
melee
just.
has to connect and feel right.
One of
and
those
good,
faces, you
and
know.
It's one of those phases.
It's just something that was really important.
I mean, I'm a huge gamer and a huge fan of what Respawn have done. And
I play The Sims and FIFA
Stig
all the
is,
time.
you know, as well. And I obviously wasn't involved in the creation of the gameplay at all, so I was coming very objectively, and I really wanted to see satisfying, weighty, visceral combat that had impact, and I gotta say, like, it kicks ass.
So like you said,
I don't know
compact.
if we're allowed to say that, but yeah,
Compact.
seriously, no, it
Compact.
kicks ass.
And
It's so
getting
cool.
to use force powers in there too,
Yeah.
along with the melee, and like that feel is all there.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, like, I just always wanted to know what it felt
This is one of those
like to
games.
swing
This
a
one,
lightsaber.
I think that is the thing. If this isn't good,
Really
you just kind of give up hope for a good Star Wars game for a while.
Yeah, you're putting it in the hands of a good studio.
That's
I
actually
mean,
great to hear about the gameplay.
Visceral was
I do
really
have
good
to say,
studio
though, I'm
too, and
still
Amy
thinking
Hennig
about
was a
that
good
trailer.
director, and all
I
this
still have
never
all these
happened.
burning
Yeah.
questions, and I know
This
we
one's
don't wanna give away
actually
too much about the story,
obviously
but we've
a
got to go
game
back to some story moments and
that's
that
coming
trailer. You know I'm not the only fan of
Story
Star Wars
drink.
Rebels in this room.
Yeah, I feel like this is
Right.
kind of the
But I just
Yeah,
have to
make it or
ask,
break
there was a
it moment.
character. Yeah, who's that?
for EA Star Wars games.
Who's that?
That's this lovely
Yeah.
character. So that is the second sister Inquisitor. So a new
Steel Inquisitor?
that we have
Mistborn?
designed and developed and are introducing in this game.
That could be a love interest.
With eagle eyes, we have actually teed up this character in an image of Darth
Can't
Vader
beat
number
'em,
19,
romance
if you
'em.
go back and take a look.
Exactly.
Written by Charles Soule. We have put her already out in the world, but it's from the design and from these guys as we were planting those seeds for what will ultimately pay off in this game. And
How
she's,
awesome is that?
you know, she's a member of the Inquisitorius out there hunting down Jedi after Order 66.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll be saying more about the second sister at a later date, but I will say that she's exceptionally intelligent, and if you watch the trailer, you'll see she's actually using the Force to control the flight stick of the ship that Cal's on during there. So she's very clever.
Super clever.
She's so clever,
I'm not done
Jeff.
though.
So
I
clever.
have so many more questions. There were more characters in there. There was this amazing.
Yeah, but he just
droid
gave away the whole
character.
shooting the Force
Yeah,
thing. He's like,
right here.
you took away some
Who's
ammo
this-
for
who's this
those
little droid right here? What can you
like
tell us about
game
this
explain
droid?
type people to do
That little
to
guy
analyze
is-
it.
He was already writing the video. He's like,
And internally at
I was gonna
Respawn,
get like
it stands for
300,000
Buddy
views.
Droid
Yeah.
One. And that's exactly what he is
At
to
least.
Cal. They're best friends. I would not consider BD a sidekick at all.
BD.
They're equals, and they go on this journey together, and they really learn how to lean on one another. And like we've been saying, this is dark times, so you need somebody to provide a little bit of light, and that's exactly what BD does. He actually,
Yep, it's
one
Star
of
Wars.
his functions
the
is
robot
spy.
companion is comic relief. It's
And
Star
it's
Wars.
Those are one of
useful
my
tools
points.
that BD
Story.
has to be able to find and
Story, Sly. Story.
Now, the other really
So
cool
much
thing about
story.
his voice is
Jeff.
totally legit.
You
We
got any
have
more of
the
that
talents of
story?
Ben Burt, who's
Oh.
We got any more stories? Be a visual novel.
Ben Burt, the original
It
creator
actually
of
is.
the entire Star Wars soundscape.
Yeah.
R2-D2, Chewbacca, TIE Fighters, lightsabers, Darth Vader. That Ben Burt?
Yeah, I think there was a couple people on the team
Ben
who
Burt?
kind of around the same time arrived on this great idea, and Ben was totally up for the challenge. And you know, the vocalization of BD is, you know, it's whimsical, yet it's also endearing. and it totally screams Star Wars.
It maybe literally screams Star Wars at times too. We'll have to find out. That's great. Well, what
Stole my
can you tell
joke.
us about the inspiration behind this droid?
He's gonna scream Star Wars.
Yep.
What is this? Some kind of Star Wars?
Everybody brought their own
Looks right into the camera, and you just turn it off right to this. Snap it in half.
Adnan Chatrawala and Laura Teef in design and animation, who have really done an amazing job of bringing BD1 to life, which you'll see when you play the game.
Like clap into the
When
microphone.
we were creating BD1, we looked at droids like BB-8, R2-D2, even Chopper. We really put a lot of research into these droids to understand what makes these droids so iconic and lovable to the franchise. So we worked really closely with
halfway
Doug
through this,
Chang
Darby.
and Hez Chorba from Lucasfilm to create the visual design.
This
of
is
the
turning
droid.
to my worst
And
case
it was
scenario.
A really fun process.
I'm
We
not
started
overly
off
surprised.
with
I mean, I'm not saying I am
something that looks
either, but I had hope.
familiar to
Yeah,
us
I
in
mean,
everyday
I can
appliances,
deal with all this
like
if
a
we get
vacuum
one more
cleaner
cool
or a
gameplay trailer,
Roomba,
but I honestly
or,
don't think we
you
are.
know, we had even a version that looked like a tiny ATSD with a camcorder head.
Swear if the only thing
So
at
we
the end they're
explored a lot
gonna,
of options,
if
but
the one
this
more
is
thing
where
is
we
just the
ultimately
date that's
landed,
already
and we're
leaked.
really happy with
Jeff,
the result.
I mean, if you made me guess right now, I would say
I
that's the
am.
only other thing.
I want to be surprised.
That's the end. They're like, oh, and we're gonna get a date.
The biography for BD1 was at the forefront of my mind, and just so you
A
guys
date, if you only asked me a week ago to guess what it was, I probably could have
And
picked that
BD's
exact
a
date.
very
It's probably would have been the one I
good-
picked.
You know, he's
Yeah.
like
It's the most obvious date for this thing.
House's
I mean, you
companion
would have
throughout
more
the story. It's a
appreciated
little
just
bit,
seeing that on
like
Twitter.
a boy and a dog situation, and
Oh,
they
well.
become very close, and BD provides a lot of the light of the
Well,
story. and it's not to
EA just
undersell
still
it,
doesn't know how to put on a
but,
entertaining
some of my favorite scenes
event.
are the
Yeah.
interactions just
At least
between
for a
BD and Cal.
public audience.
And the smoothness with which they interact is just great.
Smoothness.
Like the team is
You know,
really
we're
good.
definitely gonna need a main topic if there's not
Cameron,
anything
in that
more.
behind-the-scenes footage, I saw you with a lot of other talented actors as well. Can you tell us about some more of the cast that we saw in the trailer? You had a friend there that was helping you as well.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have. That's Seer, played by Deborah Wilson, who is a former Jedi Knight and kind of takes on the role of mentor to Cal in many ways. But it's not the traditional.
The visuals are
Padawan,
interesting to me because
master
they're like
sort of
kind of
relationship.
somewhere
Instead, there's this,
in between being
group
completely
that
realistic
kind
and
of
then
band
being
together
slightly
to
more
form
cartoony.
a sort of,
Not cartoony, but they're like, you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
not like
kind of
I'm not saying they look
strange
bad. It's
family.
just
this weird little
interesting.
team that band together to explore the galaxy, and I think that's ultimately.
But again, we still just have
the
not
real
seen
heart and core of
even
the stories. A lot of them. So you
like
met a couple of the characters in the
gameplay
trailer briefly, but there's
adjacent
a bunch
stuff,
more that you
you know.
haven't seen yet, who I think are also really
we
incredible.
just saw some
Which
cinematics.
reminds me,
And like I said, a
I
trailer that
still have
I mean, like I'm
questions.
still think
I wanna
the
go
game's
back to
probably
the
gonna be
dark side
good. It's
because
just
there were these
I mean that trailer,
incredible,
there was nothing
I guess
special
they're
about
melee-
that
yes,
trailer. It
melee
was just
troopers here. Tell us about these troopers.
I mean, it
They
showed
look
us cool
so
designs
good
for
in that
like
trailer.
Yeah.
Sure. So these
people
are
and stuff.
new troopers we are introducing.
But I
called
mean,
Purge
we already knew it
troopers.
was
And
we already
creating
knew
new troopers
vaguely
in
of
Star
like kind of
Wars
where
is
the story
always
was
a
set.
fun
So I mean,
experiment,
it
and
looked like the
finding
trailer that I
utility
would have
you're looking
expected.
for in the troopers. We've seen multiple variations over years of films and TV shows. We have shore troopers and death troopers and snow troopers and flame troopers and onwards. And we wanted to
Yeah, at least for the
develop
people like
something
we,
for this game.
like some people
Yeah,
we
there's
know.
always a lot of rumors floating
Sure, a lot
around
of people
the
are we're
galaxy of
hoping
Jedi fightings,
again. So
especially
another
this
like
time.
30 minutes. Hopefully they show
And it's
something,
actually the
but
Inquisitor's
this
job
isn't looking
to
good.
hunt them down, but
No.
like Steve was
Hoping for
mentioning,
more,
there's
like-
so few of them, so they actually
this isn't the
send
part people were
troopers
really
to
interested / worried about.
and when they do encounter a Jedi, they call the Inquisitors back in.
I mean, from their perspective, I know they
Troopers are
want
also
to
specially
be
trained
story
to fight
first
Jedis,
because
so
that's
when
been
they do encounter one,
the Star
they're
Wars
really
game that
eager to
everyone
fight them.
wants.
So even Jedi's
but-
have leaks.
It's just like, I mean, this is my biggest criticism of a lot of game releases when, like, I feel like you probably should, unless you have a big game, unless it's just like a tiny little teaser or something, which this is not. You did an entire event for this game. Like, this is not like a short little thing. Unless you're doing some short little thing, you shouldn't show your game off until you also have gameplay. Because when you just show a cinematic, the game could still feel horrible to play.
Yeah.
It tells you nothing. Like, anyone can pay for great cinematics. I mean, like, I'm not saying it's easy, but I mean,
Yeah.
you can do that and still have a boring game.
shared that design once we finalized it.
Maybe they will
brought
show
up
it.
earlier in the pipeline to complete it against Marvel's timelines. We shared it with Marvel, and so you've actually already seen these troopers in the background
Marvel?
cover issue in the Marvel comic series.
Iron Man
we've seen them on
confirmed.
the page. We're going to see them in HD in this game, but also I think it'd be kind of cool to see them
Or
in
the
person,
Anthem crossover
maybe?
confirmed.
Would people want to
This
see
is pretty
them,
much
like,
Iron
see
Man.
Purge troopers?
Now?
I think now.
You want to meet some Purge
You want to
troopers?
meet some Purge troopers?
Yeah.
That's
Some
kinda
Purge
cool.
troopers.
Bring them out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Careful, Cameron.
Oh god, they bring in real.
Oh, God. Why?
Oh yeah, get a selfie. Do it.
Selfie's not a bad idea.
Careful.
Christ's sake.
Careful.
Can we just start the podcast, Jeff?
Get the crowd.
Sorry, we gotta stay at least to see if
I
anything
know.
happens.
Say cheese.
How is EA still this bad at this?
I mean,
That is a very
Yeah.
patient Purge trooper.
no, I was gonna say
They're trained for
EA probably had in this business a weird thing because it's also kind of run by Star Wars / Disney.
That's great. I mean, first of all, I always
Yeah,
loved
but I mean,
that,
this- I don't
you
know.
I loved the idea of the Jedi Purge in general.
Or just
in
in general,
Star Wars.
than
And then I
all of
loved
them.
what Rebels added
Why
to
aren't
that.
people in general better?
The
It's
Inquisitors.
Why can't
And
it be
makes
like the
so
Disney
much
Plus
sense,
conference?
You know, that what you said about
Was
That's
there-
just all information.
Yeah, okay.
It's literally just slides showing all the crap we wanted. They want E3, Darby.
such a great addition to story and gameplay, but it makes me wonder what kind of challenges these Purge troopers are going to present to the player and to our Jedi hero Cal.
I mean,
They're-
it's just
sorry,
gonna
they
suck
announced
because
Lizzie
because
McGuire.
after this, like,
born out of the
Nabel on Twitter will like sum up this entire thing in like 280 characters on Twitter or something. Like someone on Twitter like can in one tweet probably ending like
One hit with
link the
lightsaber,
trailer
get them
and like that's the conference. That's
they-
all
I
the
mean,
important
yeah.
information in the
challenge
conference.
Put them in situations where there's like dozens of them, which is okay. We might have scenarios like that in our game, but like I said, thoughtful combat.
I mean, I'm all for like developers talking, but what a lot of these kind of shows, and it feels like especially the EA ones, they're talking, but I don't feel like they're saying much stuff with stuff with substance
No, it's just a bunch of they've said thoughtful combat over and over again. I mean, it
and story.
It legitimately sounds like they had a script and they're like, hey, say these words over and over again.
Yeah.
These are like it's just all feels very canned.
Now, I did
And it
have
just
one
kind
question
of
I still wanted to
saying
ask about the trailer, 'cause
Well, and it's
actually-
like
been
show
a
don't
big
tell. That is the
Yeah.
biggest thing about.
celebration, which is
They're just
about-
telling what they already showed.
Because
Though.
we see way too much marketing bullshit in video games to where like this just drowns out. Like you need to.
Oh, well then, okay, all right. Well then, what can you tell
Not
us
just
about? Yeah, you're
concept.
right. It does look very storied. Looks like it's been through some things. What can you tell us about this?
So the lightsaber, I don't think we're going to be talking about that until we release the game. it's, you guys wouldn't want us to.
We're gonna show you
it's
these
so
things,
intimately
pictures from the
tied
trailer,
to
but
the
we
story.
can't talk about what
It's
exactly
full
these
of
things
spoilers.
are. Which
What I
stuff
will
like
say
this, okay,
is
fine, yeah,
that
I get it. Don't tell us
over the
because
course
that's
of
gonna be
the
a great
game,
story
it will
moment, probably.
grow.
Why even bring it up?
Exactly.
Is kind of a reflection of Cal.
the lightsaber will.
Let the people on
change
YouTube
involved.
take the screenshots of the trailer.
And I was hoping this
Shut
conference, would,
down.
you know, and again, it could turn around and we could at least get
Oh my
something
gosh.
else. But
I
was
have
hoping
one-
I'd go
I-
to
I
Easy
lied. I have
Allies
one
thing
more
because
question,
they're
which is just-
seeing
I
it,
just
and I
wanna
can see
know-
like Huber
I'm
and
sure
Jones
everyone
happy
wants
like
to know
throughout the
too,
thing.
When?
That could be fun.
You want to just read their
Right?
body language?
When do we get to experience this story and play this game? When is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order coming into our lives and our homes to play? Vince?
Are they doing release date now? So does that mean we have another trailer?
November 15th, 2000.
Oh!
15.
This year, November 15th, 2019.
And this is an EA game, so for better or worse, we can be sure it's going to hit that date.
Full simultaneous launch.
Xbox,
this year,
PlayStation.
This holiday.
This holiday. Xbox, PC, PlayStation 4, November 15th, 2019. Why is 2019 so amazing? That's so great. That's great.
Just a piece.
Oh, just 7 months away. Well, that's great. I've got so many. I took so many notes because I had so many questions here. But I just want to ask you all if you have any
You
final
warned the-
thoughts before we wrap this up. Why don't we start with you, Steve?
People in the
Sure, I mean,
comments
this-
said no Epic Game Store
Just being
hype.
able to sit on this panel today, it's an incredible privilege to be
So I
able
don't
to
know if
share
that
this
was
information
said
with
This is
something
a
that we've
PC.
been working on for a long
I mean,
time
this is EA though. They got their own thing.
here, I will not lie.
Oh yeah,
I'm
they've
getting
origin.
That means
into
nothing.
it.
Yeah, so
I didn't
it's-
expect this one
yeah,
on Epic.
okay.
Pretty incredible.
Then get out of here, chat.
And it's like we
They
were
were
saying
four.
earlier, it is an absolute labor of love. Our team.
Well, this is what we got to. Watch us react to Easy Allies react to Star Wars.
And as is, they've shouted out the Respawn team, us too at Lucasfilm, a huge
And they're talking about, he said, like, right before this, wrap it up, so it's probably it. But, at this point, we got to stay just in case.
Kelsey, Emily, Matt, Leland. It's just a whole ton of people who put their time and effort into this, and we cannot wait for people to continue to learn more and get their hands on it on November 15th. Thank you. Genuinely.
Kasumi, Aaron, any thoughts?
Yeah, what Steve said, but what we talked about.
Well, the good thing about for the people that are there, at least is the whole Star Wars thing. There are other panels.
Yeah, I mean, there is Star Wars Celebration. It's fine. I mean, like, panels like this are fine for that, but I mean, this was the debut of this game, and it was drummed up online,
We really can't wait to show you more.
I mean, we talked to you about it, but listening is like, we didn't miss anything of substance.
And it's coming in November. You should be able to have gameplay. Something, Yeah.
Star Wars.
It's coming this year.
A really good feeling, and a lifelong dream for me and a whole lot of people on the team. It's just been a total privilege working at Respawn in a culture of trust and ownership.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a whole thing dedicated to it, that's gonna last 45 minutes to an hour.
But also, games are made by teams, and everything we saw
something
today was made by the team
other than
Respawn. They're fantastic people.
the story trailer.
We're trying to make something really special for all of you.
Which looked dope, but
That's great. Stig, any?
Yeah, like you said, we could have pinned that.
Yeah.
Coming up
I'm not trying to say that trailer looks bad. It looks good. Like, it looks cool. But there was no hook in that trailer that, like, surprised me. There was nothing surprising about that trailer. And again, I have seen awesome cinematic trailers to terrible games lots of times. Not that I expect this to be a terrible game, but I couldn't tell you at this point. I couldn't tell you either way. I'm leaving this with really just... My barometer for this game is not raised or lowered at all, really. It's just kind of the same.
Honestly, your barometer, the most it changed is probably earlier today when I told you EA said no microtransactions.
Probably, yeah.
I love it. One of the things that sorry to just go off script here is, again,
screw this game. Screw it.
Such a great sign of
Show me gameplay.
And just to reiterate, Stig, thank you for setting that culture. It's just amazing. Hi to everyone that's working on this game, watching at home. Thanks for your great work. Thanks for making 2019 so awesome. And thanks to everyone at Lucasfilm, too, for making 2019 such a great time to be a Star Wars fan. Vince, Cameron, any final thoughts?
I think that we're all, this team, everyone involved, is a
They all have the look
is a
of
huge fan
why
of
are
Star
we here.
Wars, and we wanted to make sure that we,
I mean, at least we were getting together for a podcast. We just did so an hour early, earlier than we needed to.
But ultimately,
We could have finished up and been out and living our life, Jeff.
Yep.
And it is a somewhat dark story. It takes
Or
place
could
in
have
dark
gotten here
times.
earlier to
But that
stream.
being said,
Like
there's a lot of
games.
joy and
That too.
adventure, and it's really beautiful what these
That
guys
too.
have done and created. I think that they're being a little bit.
We're gonna have a lot of hashtag content in the next 6 weeks.
And yeah, we're
Hashtag
huge fans
hashtag
of Star Wars,
content.
so we're honored to be able to
Game
bring
of
this to you.
Thrones.
2 weeks to in-game.
Game of Drones. They're all drones now.
Yeah, as you've heard, it takes a village to raise a Jedi. So, I mean, this is a team sport. There's so much work that's gone into it, so much passion out of people. I know, like you said, everyone on the team is such a huge fan of Star Wars, such a part of who we are. I'm honored to be able to represent, a part of that team today. And yeah, there's a lot more of the game. That's a good idea.
Well, we might.
Hey guys, FYI, we're gonna go straight into the Nerds Always Gaming podcast after this, and I'm probably just gonna leave it streaming because why not?
We might show the trailer again, but who likes giveaways?
I wasn't paying attention before you they have like we're gonna
Well,
get
unbeknownst to you, before you all
Show the
entered this
trailer
arena,
again.
we randomly selected 2 seats.
Okay,
Before
can we leave
everyone
now?
came in, and 2 of you unknowingly sat in those seats. And what you are going to get is a really, really cool prize from our partners at Xbox. They're here giving away 2 of these awesome prize packs.
So, okay, so this game's gonna. I'm just gonna put this down because it's one of the more interesting things, weirdly enough.
A 1-month membership
The
to
Xbox
Xbox
marks some
Gold,
sort of
this
marketing
cool
deal.
Jedi
Yeah.
Fallen Order backpack, water bottle. What a cool package. So right now, Stephen and Michelle from Microsoft. Where are they? They're out there. The cameras are
You're
following
listening
them.
to what they're saying.
going to go to one of those 2 lucky seats right now, and pretty soon someone's going to find out that they're going home with an Xbox One X right there. Congratulations. Trust me, nobody wants to go anywhere just yet.
He said we might show the trailer again. I think they're just going to show the trailer again.
Where is it?
He said we might show the trailer again, but first.
Oh, there he is. It's already happening.
They don't want to go anywhere, so why would we want to stay? I mean,
don't trust them, Jeff.
I don't trust
They're not
them.
trustworthy. They have not earned your trust.
I'm so glad EA's not doing a conference.
We don't have to do this, Jeff. We ended up streaming an E3 conference anyway because we're idiots, but
let me tell you
we don't
right
have to do it again.
Before we get to distribution,
Never again, Darby. We're never trusting EA again.
Trevor's going home with something really, really cool. Now, we saw some characters in the trailer, but you're also going to be able to get this really cool collector pin set here. But that's...
For the love of God, can we at least just... Like, if there's no more announcements, just cut this stream and let this be for the live people.
But that's not all. That's not all. You're also going to get, everyone who attended, 1 month of Xbox Live Gold for free.
Medium at this point.
I already took the promotional code, so don't try it. But wait, there's more. Everyone is going to get this limited edition poster of this magnificent art right here. Fantastic, fantastic. So that's really, really great. I think I'll find out how we're doing this during the break, but while I'm finding out how you're going to get this, because there are distribution centers that are not here in the arena, we're going to give you instructions in just a moment on how to pick it all up. But right now, you want to see that trailer one more time?
Dude, seriously.
You want to see it one more time? Woo! Let's roll it. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
For Christ's sake. All right, we're going to talk about it, so let's just pay attention.
Wasn't always like this.
Hey, Darby, just so you know, since Peter's up now, it's one of those on the Best Buy when you get $10 in rewards back for pre-ordering.
Don't stand out. Accept the past. Trust.
Now that I know it's him, I see it.
No one.
Yeah, this looks like maybe a little younger version. Slightly.
The galaxy's changed.
Look out!
Whatever you do, don't reach within.
I do like the idea of, him having to not show that he has powers.
Mm-hmm.
That was an interesting dynamic.
Don't stand out. Accept the past.
Execute Order 66.
It'd also be interesting because, he can only win to such a degree because we know how this goes. Yeah. He's not going to take down the Empire in this game, which is cool. It's kind of cool that it's not going to be like he saves the world. It's going to be some smaller story.
Yeah, we were like him trying to survive.
Right. Which is, I think, could make for a way more interesting story than, That's kind of what I liked about Rogue One. It's like, this is not going to end just completely peachy and happy for everyone.
Now it's the trailer version with the date at the end.
Get that man a lightsaber!
They had to have 2 different video files there, Jeff, just for that one little date.
There we go.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, November 15, 2019. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to the team at Respawn Entertainment and Lucasfilm. And I just found out that before you leave the arena today, you'll be given a ticket that will have information about how you can redeem these great prizes that everyone's going to get here. Thank you so much for attending.
I think so. Yeah, the only thing I did in here was good to just see the trailer again. Okay.
Oh, boy. Boy, Jeff. I said boy.
I said boy.
I said boy. Alright, well, if you watched our live reactions to that, I'm sorry. But now we're going to go straight into the Nerds at Large Gaming podcast in just a minute. We're going to, this is going to serve as a podcast too, so we're going to have to wait and start at a certain time. But we're about to do that in just a minute. So you can hear a rare live taping of the podcast. And we're going to talk about some other things.
Indeed.
And I don't know, for main topic, we could just talk about how do you think these games should be released? What is the ideal way?
The ideal way to market games?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. That sounds good. My notes out. Yeah, I'll get all this stuff out real quick. And just real quick. We should do a couple minutes to set up.
Yep. Let me just.
Game. Let's just go through my Twitter stuff real quick to make sure there wasn't anything that announced outside of this we missed.
Yeah. Starting a new recording on the video. Just let me know when you're ready, and I'll start the audio one.
Okay.
Skiddly bop.
Skiddly boop boop bop.
Skadoop boop. But just a little, I guess, precursor to it. I mean, this is still a game I'm interested in. Still a game I kind of believe in, but the marketing is just nice. Yeah, sometime. I mean, probably around the time of the Persona 5S, whatever, in our SNR reveals, we're gonna get Joker and Smash sometime this month, Jeff.
Yep.
And in-game and Game of Thrones.
And Days Gone, right?
There's no time for that, Jeff. Yeah. No time.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh my God, Mortal Kombat. That Katana trailer. Katana is Katana and Melina in one character, Jeff.
Yeah. I'm scary.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay,
so excited.
Let me get the timer up.
Let's just talk about Mortal Kombat for now.
Want me to add Mortal Kombat?
Alright. Starting that recording. Alright, I'm pretty sure this is 93. I'm just going to go with it. Hello, and welcome to episode 93 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
Hey, Jeff Mayo.
I am here in my Sony Pony attire, representing...
I'm representing Heavy Devi.
Everyone go get your name changed. You do have to sell your soul to get your PSN name changed, apparently.
We'll talk about that.
Oh, boy. Well, me and Jeff just finished watching the Jedi Fallen Order revealed stream thing. It was from Star Wars Celebration. So that's what we're immediately going to get in and talk about. But before I do that, I'm just going to let you know that tomorrow at the time of this recording, but just Sunday, it's going to be a little bit in the past for most of y'all, Game of Thrones started, and me and Jeff and Chad and Holden from Respawn Aim Fire did a spoiler cast for it. So go watch that. It's in the future for me, but in the past for you. Go check it out.
Was it great?
Let
us know.
We don't know. Yeah, so go check that out. Nerds at Large Spoilercast on podcast services and our YouTube channel. We're going to do it for the whole season. I've plugged it a lot of times, so I'm going to peace out from that. And that's about it. So, Jeff, Star Wars
Jedi Fallen Order.
So, boy, Jeff, was this a EA presentation? Hoo boy.
Hoo boy, baby. All focused on one game. Okay, Darby, so I got some notes here. Maybe we just go through them.
Yeah, I mean, let's just first just get it off our chest. It was a pretty bad presentation.
It was dreadful, man.
It was exactly what we should expect from EA.
I had hope.
I mean, I expected the presentation to be this bad, but I thought I was going to leave with, like, one look at story, one look at gameplay. And I'd like, okay.
This is what I was hoping for. That's the bare minimum I needed.
But no, we saw a very, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, not bad. It was good, but it was a very generic story trailer that really didn't do anything to move it didn't do anything I wasn't expecting. Like, if I just visualized what I think the trailer would have looked like, that's pretty much what I would have popped out. So that trailer kind of just didn't do anything either way. It was like, all right, this looks good. But the biggest thing, not a single shred of gameplay, and just an hour long of just kind of fluffy talk about what the gameplay is. Like,
well, it wasn't an hour, it was like 45 minutes. But still, yeah.
And it's not like it was even specific talk about the gameplay. It was just, it's thoughtful gameplay. It
thoughtful
feels
combat.
good. But no, like, good, nothing worthy of being a big
use your lightsaber and use the Force. Ooh, boy. I mean, here's, again, like you said, the trailer it's a really good story trailer, like what we expected and is what it needed. That's great.
Yeah, coming from Respawn and the budget this game had, I expected the cinematics to look good, and the cinematics looked good.
I mean, it was just from a reason, like going in reasonably, that's about as good of a story trailer we could expect. I don't mean that negative. I don't mean that bad or anything.
Yeah,
it's what you expected.
Yeah, especially a first story trailer.
And
like
that. They talked about this game some before the general idea, so the story was what we expected.
Yeah,
so far and all that stuff. But yeah, just they went on talking, and I got one of the my points on here, just in big capital letters, story, because they hammered that point. This game has a story. It's all about the story. Fine, but then when they tried to talk about it, it was the most vague things ever. It's like, I just wish they did talk about it. Because they just put screens from usually the trailer or something on the story.
Gary Withers says word salad.
Yeah,
there was a lot of word salad.
Might give a little more information, like with that. I don't think I wrote it down. Whatever that girl bounty or evil empire girl is.
Yeah, the antagonist.
Yeah. They gave a little more information about her, which fine. Yeah, that's fine. That she can use the Force and all that kind of stuff. That's cool. But other than that, it was them kind of just reiterating over and over again stuff that was in the story trailer. We could have gotten from the story trailer, or they said in previous things, and it was just like, you're wasting my time.
I mean, the problem is, anyone listening to this podcast, if you just go watch the trailer and see the date, you got what you need to know. You got everything that me and Jeff got out of watching.
The only other thing you would have gotten is the actor's name.
Yeah. And, that's one of those things. I mean, like, even good actors being cast in the video games don't mean much. I mean, this, like,
not to say that's just about the only other thing I got out of it.
Yeah, and you're probably going to see that information.
That was the most exciting I got, because, like, hey, I like this actor. It's like, so I know I'll, should like the main character is acting at least.
Yeah, you'll at least recognize. Yeah, it's a recognizable dude. And, I mean, other than that, I mean, like you said, some of the stuff in the trailer, like you see him, the guy, he's obviously a Jedi, but this is post Order 66 in Episode 3, and he's having to, like, hide that he's a Jedi. So you see, like, his friend fall to his death, and he wants to, like, use the Force to help him, and then it has the voiceover is like, don't stand out, don't reach within, you need to hide, don't, like, show that you, and that's a cool dynamic to me. And, like, I was telling Jeff at the end of the stream, we were talking about how I kind of like going into this game that we know, like, this is not going to be some grand saving the world ending. Like, it can only end so happy because we know how this ends. We know that the Empire is still a thing. So, like, I'm excited for this to potentially be a, like, more focused, smaller story. And like you said, it's more about this guy surviving through, getting out of whatever almost like labor camp it almost seems like he was in. Yeah. So, very cool stuff, and I think this game's going to be cool, but this was just such a dreadful way.
Yep.
Especially for how much it was drummed up. And for the panel there, people at Star Wars Celebration, that's one thing, but, like, this was promoted so much outside of that.
Yep. So it was a big deal, big world premiere, whatever. It's like, honestly, the best way they should have done this is show the trailer like a day or two ago, but still have this so you can go into what they, I guess, would call the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, so it's like, if you see the trailer, if that's all you want to see, then there, boom, go, and then, But instead, I mean, they probably got a lot more people to tune in, but they probably have a lot of people mad that they tuned in.
And something that's kind of dumb is as far as like new information, like the important, what we call important information, they showed the story trailer great. Then 10 to 15 minute-ish maybe about later, they just announced the date. Yep. And that was it. Then in the end, they said, "You guys want to see that trailer again?" They literally said the same trailer again. The only thing different was at the end, they put the date they announced a little earlier. But after the first time they showed the trailer on there, it's like, you should have just showed that trailer to begin with.
Yeah, they didn't want people to tune out. For some reason, they wanted to hold everyone captive for this hour. Yep. They just wanted to just pluck an hour out of your life and give nothing back.
Yep. But anyway, let's get to that. The date, November 15th. Honestly, Darby and I said during the thing, this was literally the date. Like, if you had to make us bet on what the date was, that's probably the date we would have come out, if not like the week before that or something like that.
Yeah, I probably would have said November, October.
Yeah.
And I probably would have lent towards November.
Yeah.
Because,
mid-November, right before Black Friday. Or a week or two before Black Friday. You can't,
And it's got to come out for my birthday.
Exactly.
For my birthday.
So that's the obvious
even that was not like something that we needed to watch this for. You could have just seen that on Twitter. Yeah,
it leads before and also. So.
Makes sense, and we knew it. Yeah.
So I guess we can talk about that. Yeah, date's good. At the moment, we don't know anything for around that time other than the obvious, like Call of Duty and that kind of stuff.
It'll probably be good for it that that will be when we're ramping up for episode 9, and it'll be everyone has Star Wars fever. It's like, oh, now you can go buy the Star Wars
the single player, Star Wars game.
Yeah, before the movie comes out, that'll be like the Star Wars time of the year, basically. Mm-hmm. Whereas now is the Marvel time of the year.
Yeah, and
because everything revolves around Disney at this point.
And because it's Star Wars, it won't be. As a single player Star Wars game, it won't be hurt by any of the other stuff on there. It will do fine. It is the game or one of the games that people are now scared of around that come out around.
Yeah, I mean there was lots of negative press around the Battlefront games, and they still sold like crazy because it's freaking Star Wars, and especially a story focused one like this. This is probably gonna sell consoles right before right before the new consoles come out. This is gonna sell
consoles. We'll get to that later. So yeah,
you want to do that segue, don't you, Jeff?
Yeah. So other little things. It's coming out on Xbox, PC. Didn't exactly say where on PC, but you imagine on EA's thing.
On the Origins.
Yeah. And PS4. That's the least surprising thing out of this announcements. The new character is called Cal Kestis. And he's being played by Cameron Monaghan. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
How is Cal Kestis spelled? Did you see a spelling?
I saw. When I went to get his name, I saw in the article.
I have to say, Star Wars names always sound really cool. Like immediately, that one doesn't sound as cool to me. I don't know something. Cal Kestis.
I wrote it originally as Cal with a K.
Cal Kestis.
Is that his first name? It's like Cal. Yeah. But it's a K. It's Cal with a C. That's less cool.
That is less cool. Well, Ed Boon does not approve.
Ed Boon does not approve. So yeah, I like the actor. He plays the Joker or the Joker equivalents and all that stuff in Gotham, which is cool. Let's see. He has a little robot friend named, I think it was Beatty.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yep. It was they talked about how you need levity in this serious story, so that's what the robot does. It's like, yep, it's Star Wars. There's a little adorable robot that also provides levity. I mean, I guess it's not always adorable. In Rogue One, like I said, K282 or whatever was like a sarcastic asshole, and he was great. So
nice. Yeah. I guess the only other thing that kind of stood out for us, me feel like taking notes for, was there's Xbox marketing. They had the promotion and stuff for the giveaways, and it was Xbox. So that means Xbox looks like to have the main marketing for this game. Which means we will probably, since EA's not doing a press conference, we should probably be seeing at least something from this game at the Xbox conference.
Yeah, that's why I would expect that too.
Yeah, I mean, we probably could predict that anyway, but this kind of more confirmed.
I mean, I guess maybe. EA is still doing like live streams and stuff, so they could.
They're still gonna have something there. But they still have like Anthem trailers when they had their conference.
That is true.
So that's true. And Battlefield. Battlefield and all that stuff. So
and that's not the most surprising because I feel like nowadays it's. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like nowadays it's way more common for a big AAA third-party IP to have marketing rights to Microsoft than it is Sony at this point. I feel like usually if one of them is has some marketing foot forward, Microsoft's the one that seems to have paid the money.
Because at this time, PlayStation needs that kind of push as much as
that's probably money that they don't need to spend or they don't at least don't feel like they need to spend.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's interesting, but it's not the most surprising.
So
thing.
don't expect Will at our Benny thing. Will Fallen Order be at Microsoft's conference? 'Cause I'm going to just assume it is.
Well, it's not going to be at Sony's.
Nope. So yeah, do you got anything more to say for this game, Darby?
God,
I was kind of hoping this would have gone longer.
Yeah, I was hoping to, but I mean, again, like I said, I'm gonna be super negative in this. But it's almost purely because of the presentation. I just really wish that EA would have learned at this point. Like, it seems like even when EA has cool things that everyone wants to see, and like so far it doesn't really have. I don't think anyone has a problem with the game so far in concept or just who's making it or anything like that. Even when they have something that people really want, I don't know, their presentations are just so lacking.
And here's the thing: we
want to like, who is that survey? I guess shareholders, but like, who is this talking on the couch for hours?
Well, even
fluffing up.
Serve shareholders. I mean, I get it more when
Jeff. What will serve shareholders is how many views they had on this thing.
Yeah, yes.
And then shareholders be like, "Oh, this is a big deal."
That could have done no matter what the content was. But what was I about to say? I mean, we wouldn't feel great about it, but even if they said, let's say, a minute and a half of like gameplay trailer, we would feel a lot more positive. Probably
so much more.
Assuming
positive.
the gameplay was good.
I mean, like I said, I expected the presentation not be good, but the fact that we're leaving this with zero gameplay, not a shred of it, sucks. Because that's the biggest thing I'm worried about. I wasn't honestly that worried about the story.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that this is a story-focused Star Wars game, and they know that we're glad about that. But in a weird way, like, yeah, it's Respawn. I know they're good at this, and I know this has been the focus of this game. The story is the thing I'm least worried about. I'm worried about the gameplay feeling very kind of repetitive or kind of just lowest common denominator. Like, I'm worried about it just being kind of a button mashy, not great feeling story. Gameplay.
Yeah.
Just because, they're going for everyone and their brother to buy this game.
Yep.
So you said that at the top of the stream, you said that if they succeed, they'll succeed fully if you leave like more excited about this game, or like thinking you might buy this game. I imagine you can't say one way or another right now. Because Jeff is not a Star Wars guy at all, by the way. He has not seen any Star Wars movie.
Nope. Part of the reason, other than to have someone here or Darby, thought it'd be good. Like, hey, just let's see how they can sell this game to just a general, games person.
Yeah. I invited Will to come, but he wasn't free, and I'm sure he would have regretted it. I mean, he would be on the podcast with us, so that would be fun. But
we could have done MCU Kill Your Babies. I got that set up.
No. We need to do that. We're running out of time.
Yep.
Running out of time. All right, no, that's pretty much it.
They're talking about them games, Darby.
All right, let's talk about them games. Games that we have been playing.
So I know you're still playing